like, is it on? Hello? Light keeps flashing. How do I stop it? Oh, there we go.
Okay, are we ready?
Yep. I'll cut that out, don't worry. Just keep going.
So we did our project on Red Hat Amphitheater, and their mission statement is to promote events that illuminate the diversity of the region, spark curiosity, open pathways to a greater understanding of Raleigh's many communities. So we're going to start with the agency description. And so Red Hat is a 5,990 seat capacity venue that hosts multiple music artists during the year. They book their acts through a contract with Live Nation, and they are owned and operated by the city of Raleigh. They have their food and beverages are offered from Center Plate, which is like an off-center facility. And they have food, drinks, desserts, beverages, any type of beer, wine, alcohol that you could ever imagine. And they provide ticketing services for its concert attendees, and you can do that through Live Nation or Ticketmaster. And you can also order them in person through the Duke Energy Center box office, Walnut Creek Amphitheater box office, or the Red Hat Amphitheater box office.
So our community base, we're located in a prime location in downtown Raleigh, located in Wake County. The population in Raleigh is 998,691 people, and it's made up of like a really diverse population. 69% of it is made up of white people, 21.3% is African American, and 6.4% is Asian. And there's also a 10% Hispanic and Latino population. It's a pretty young population. 25% is under the age of 18. 10% over 65 years old, and it's kind of split down the middle for gender, about 51% people female and 49% male. And the mean household income is $66,579 for Wake County.
Okay, so the major competition for Red Hat Amphitheater is going to be the Walnut Creek Amphitheater and the Kokobuth Amphitheater. Those are considerably larger than Red Hat. But they are also more on the outskirts of town. So the Walnut Creek Amphitheater is going to be all the way up and farther away in North Raleigh, and Kokobuth Amphitheater is going to be in Cary. So Red Hat Amphitheater is located in downtown Raleigh, which is going to be in central downtown. So it's easier for college students to get there, and just people that go to NC State, anything around the area. So it's a lot easier access. And market data really just kind of depends on, the target market really depends on the event that's being held. If it's going to be a younger artist, obviously a lot younger attendees are going to be there. If we have like an older artist, more older guests are going to show up. But the target audience really reflects the community base, because the majority of people in Wake County are between the ages of 18 and 35. The marketing strategy to reach such a large audience is to use social media. So Red Hat is really promoted on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's kind of how they spread the word. And Live Nation in itself is such a big ticketing agency that it really supports Red Hat. This is really hard. Okay. Events are actually very successful in Raleigh, given that the mean household income is going to be around $66,579. So there's not a lot of poverty in Wake County. So the attendance to these events are going to be much higher.
Okay, so for financial data, the majority of the amphitheater's funding will be used to cover operational costs such as the electrician, the production supervisor, the event staff, the ushers, the box office, police, EMTs, security, cleaning, and stagehands. And these tend to add up to $10,000 to $15,000 depending on the length of the event and the production requirements. And the average amount of money that it takes to put on a show at the theater is around $25,000, $30,000 in operating expenses. So some of their income comes from earned income, and this includes ticketing fees, service charges, gift items, parking fees, rental fees, and the use of facilities. Along with that, they have compulsory income, which mostly comes from taxes from the city of Raleigh. So these taxes are at a special rate charged in addition to the county and municipal taxes, and they're filed under special district taxes. This money goes to property that is located in special districts in downtown. It's designated by legislation. So The gratuitous income comes from, the majority of it comes from the naming rights that were bought by Red Hat, obviously. And it's a 5-year, $1.1 million deal. And this is a type of fundraiser that would be considered gratuitous income. Contractual receipts, there's various contractual receipts that come from the food and beverage charges because they do that through a contractor, which is Centerplate, as well as the rental of the facility and the money that comes from booking all of their acts through the agreement with Live Nation. So just reiterating, some of the sources of income are ticketing fees, which is around 15%, service charges, which is around 10%, rental fees, which is 15%, taxes would be 5%, food and beverages would be 30%, and sponsorships is 25%. And then the expenses would be the electrician, the production supervisor, the event staff, the ushers, the box office, police, EMTs, security, cleaning, and stagehands.
So our budget for the long term is based on a realistic proportion of income, and that's how we'll stay solvent throughout the years. Our projection of income and expenses are based on actual figures from previous years, so that kind of helps us like guide us in what our spending should be and how fast we can expand and how much money we'll need. So we'll take into account the rapidly growing population of Raleigh when thinking of expanding and the additional expenses and revenues that would be added due to that factor. Our direct costs will only increase if we decide to increase or expand the facility to accompany more guests. So this will include building and construction costs along with additional inventory for more like seating. Our other costs would be fixed, and that includes the salaries and rent due to the large plot of land that the amphitheater is already located on. We'll gain much more income from the rentals and shows if we do decide to expand because more people will want to come to it. It'll be more appealing because it'll be larger, holding more people. And the government will provide funding to expand because it'll bring in a lot of money to the local economy as it already does. And grant money from long-term donors will also help in the expansion of our amphitheater.
So there are 3 major factors that play into Red Hat Amphitheater's pricing strategies, and those 3 things are time of the year, the type of performer, and the range to the stage, so how close you are in relation to the stage. The season for the amphitheater currently runs from April to October, and the summertime brings the highest volume to the amphitheater because students are out of school and people usually have more time. Also, the weather in the spring and the summer is ideal for outdoor theaters. And during those times, Red Hat books plenty of shows because the window to make profit is only going to be 6 months out of the year. So since there's only half of the year to hold all the concerts and the shows and rent the facilities, the demand is going to be really high in the spring, summer, and early fall. And then during the other times, so more in the winter and the colder months, the amphitheater is closed because they would not generate enough profit to cover their operational costs. So to cover the electricity, the staffing, the food, and all that stuff, they wouldn't make enough money to pay for that. So currently Red Hat has scheduled 21 concerts from April 8th to April 27th. The prices here range from the low 20s to the high hundreds depending on how close you are to the stage or if you're getting VIP tickets or just general lawn seats. Okay, so some potential red flags for Red Hat. As with any business organization, recessions are going to be a cause for concern, especially with Red Hat because the government funds Red Hat since it's owned by the city of Raleigh. So if there were to be a recession, the government would not give Red Hat as much money as they do now. The amphitheater would be not able to expand or grow any bigger. It'd just be harder because there wouldn't be as much income coming from the government and from people coming to the events. If there's a recession, they don't have as much disposable income, so they wouldn't be buying tickets to events as much if there was a recession. So also the naming rights for Red Hat comes from Red Hat, the company. So even though the amphitheater is owned by the city of Raleigh, it is named by Red Hat, the software company. So if there were ever to be a scandal going on with Red Hat separately from the amphitheater, just being under the same name as that company could hurt the reputation of the amphitheater, and people could potentially not buy tickets to that amphitheater just because of the connection through the name. And then also another red flag could be if another amphitheater was built nearby as competition, maybe one that's larger than the current Red Hat right now, and it could hold more people or host better shows. That could come up as a potential threat, but currently right now it doesn't seem like there is that much competition nearby, at least. And that is the end of that.